Hello, sir. Shall we start?
Yeah, we can get started.
I hope everyone has joined. Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to TED Talks by .com Infoway. I am Namratha, your host for today's session. We are excited today to kick off our episode 1 of our TED Talk series, a platform to explore emerging technology trends, practical insights, and strategies to help businesses stay ahead in a rapidly evolving digital world. Today's session is particularly exciting because it addresses a question that many marketers are asking. How do we scale organic growth in an AI-driven search era? I encourage you to note your questions as we go along. We'll have time at the end to engage directly with our speaker. Our topic today is Programmatic SEO in 2026, scaling organic growth in the AI search era. AI-powered businesses optimize for visibility. Traditional SEO approaches are important, but to scale effectively, organizations need data-driven, automated, and intent-focused strategies. Programmatic SEO allows businesses to reach large audiences while keeping content relevant. Also, leverage AI and automation for scalable impact to stay ahead of competitors in organic search. In this session, we'll explore practical ways to implement programmatic SEO, what works globally, common pitfalls, and how to align strategies with evolving search behaviors. Think about how these ideas might apply to your organization. You'll have the chance to ask questions during the Q&A. It's my pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, who is none other than Mr. T.M. Raja. Mr. Raja is the Associate Marketing Director at Kissflow, where he leads demand generation and growth marketing initiatives for global B2B SaaS audiences. With over a decade of experience, he has successfully driven AI-led SEO initiatives, account-based marketing strategies, and large-scale go-to-market campaigns. Known for his power of simple approach, Mr. Raja ensures that strategies cut through the noise, resonate with the right audience, and deliver measurable growth. Beyond strategy, he's also deeply passionate about mentoring the next generation of marketing leaders. We are delighted to have him with us today to share his perspectives on programmatic SEO in 2026, scaling organic growth in the AI search era. Over to you, sir, Mr. Raja.
Thanks, Namratha. Thanks for the warm introduction. So, yeah, I think it is essential for us as marketers to evolve around what is happening around, like whether it is AI, Google algorithmic updates, or anything that comes through our way. We are known for evolving or transforming our lives even. Like when I started my career in 2007, I think there was 4 different search engines which were existing, and Google had literally 20-25% of market share in terms of searches that are conducted globally. And then came an era of people searching for videos, people searching for information in forums, people searching in social media. So everything is becoming like a channel in which we need to focus on, and where to focus, when to focus, and how to focus is still a challenge. People still think about why do we invest a lot of time and efforts in this channel if it is not going to scale. But the matter of fact, with AI coming into play, people are using AI to generate a lot of content right now, but it turns out to be AI generating content, AI reading content, and we are ignoring the first principles of marketing, where you have to be seen by your audience so that you will be able to be successful in attracting their attention, by in which you will be able to scale your operations. So typically what we'll go back in time, just think of a way that there are explorers who has territories to explore, right? They go to different countries and then they go and explore each and every place and they start drawing maps. So why do they draw maps? Is basically to ensure that they have discovered something which is very, very powerful. And then they kind of look into it in a format that you will be able to visualize that particular location in a different way. So for people to find that location again, they can use that map and then they go back to that location. Think about it, similar thing, like you are building a website for making the users to discover your website or your business using some keyword search, or right now it is more of a query based search. So how are you going to be discoverable there is the question. And the analogy is this: basically, when you draw maps on hand every single time for every single territory, it is going to take a tremendous amount of time for you to complete a mapping, a very large scale area that you are discovering. Now think of it in a way that you have a map framework. You are using that map framework to scale all your map building system. So the map building system gives you grids, coordinates, legends, symbols. Once the system existed, there were a lot of people who are contributing to that system, so that thousands of accurate maps are built, which are not only built faster, but those are more reliable because those are using the same grid, same coordinates, same legends, and same symbols. So right now, what we are doing is that we are drawing the maps by hand when you are thinking about programmatic SEO. The real winners in this game is people who are building the entire mapping system. So to get started, this is the first principle that we are going to look into for today. Programmatic SEO is not about building pages. It's about designing a page generation system which is rooted into a real data and real user decisions. So why does people come into a website? So they are looking to take some decisions. So as a marketer, our job is to reduce the cognitive load of the user and make that decision making process easier. So what decision that they are going to make in the page? They're going to sign up, they're going to buy, they're going to request for a demo, they are going to book a time slot. So whatever it may be, they are taking some decision which enables your business. So to do that, how much ever you are making efforts to build that system which reduces the cognitive load, that is how you will be able to get this system up and running in a very faster manner. So right now we are looking into the search behaviors of the user, and then buyers are right now asking the same questions with different variables, maybe different form of words used in the questions, different way that people are using. For example, the word usage in the US is different from the word usage in the UK. So those are different kinds of questions, different kind of variables come in. Once you model those variables, you will be able to build the scales that answer them in scale. If those pages are powered with the proprietary data and real utility, then it becomes your durable assets for AI-led search. So proprietary data, which I mean by the real recordings of your customer behavior in your website, the real information that you get to by talking to your end customers, the real information that you get it from your sales folks. So these are all the proprietary information which is that you have in hand. Some simple sentence your customer would have mentioned in your testimonial. So that is a very powerful line that you can make use of. These are the proprietary systems and proprietary information that you can make use of while you are building things. So think about programmatic SEO like building a calculator factory. The bad approach is when you are trying to write 50,000 articles explaining mathematics. The good approach is that you build calculators to solve the mathematical problems for different inputs. So Google and any AI search nowadays, like we as a marketer are flooded with lots and lots of such AI tools. You may ask about ChatGPT, you can talk about Gemini, you can talk about Perplexity. You talk about any other AI engine in the world, people are searching for information there. But the real part is that with all the hype, still it holds less than 5 to 6% of the market share. Google is still leading with almost 90% of the market share in people searching for information. But it is getting a shift with Google's SERP is also changing with AI mode. And Google's SERP is also featuring a lot of AI overviews based on what the information queries that the users are keying in. Now, the key is for us not to generate a lot of pages without user intent, but how are we going to scale on that? That's what we are going to discuss. So we'll take three different verticals or three different use cases that we are looking in as a market is. Number one, your company might be selling a SaaS product. Number two, a company might be selling services. Your company might be selling products. So these are the broad categories that we could think about, and we'll keep it that way so that people can literally gauge it and understand what it is about. So the first part, when we are talking about SaaS, that's what I work for right now. So we could think about a lot of such use cases, right? So you can build, one is that comparison engine. So comparison between your competitors and your product. And it could be a combination of two more products, and it can be compared. You can write listicle pages which compares, and you can write ROI calculators for different verticals, different industries, different use cases. All of these ROI calculators can be built. And then for SaaS products specifically, the systems talk to each other. There are core systems in the organizations, and then there are different systems which are available. How does this system speak to each other? Is through integrations. You would have heard about Zapier building millions in traffic just using integrations, because their customers are searching for Zapier integration with some platforms like Salesforce, SAP, Microsoft Teams. So when each and every SaaS platform has to talk to different products, you need to build a directory of such integrations, which can help you drive traffic. And then there are workflows which can be built as templates. There are role-based solution pages. In SaaS, we call it as ICP, Ideal Customer Profile. For every persona, you can build different pages which will drive them by vertical, by different use cases. You should be able to build those pages. So this is one more way that you can scale on your programmatic SEO. These are the pages that help buyers to evaluate your product. So that is where you can look into. Then comes the services products. I was part of, I was a proud DCI alumni. I was part of .com Infoway for 12 years. We were doing a lot of programmatic SEO initiatives when we were at .com Infoway. We did a lot for our customers as well. So services, people think that services doesn't have a way to scale on the programmatic SEO, but yeah, there are ways. We can build cost estimators, we can build compliance checklists, we can build implementation timeline, vendor comparison frameworks, readiness assessments. These are the pages that helps the buyer to plan. There in SaaS, we spoke about evaluation, but here the buyers have to plan. And then comes the product companies. It could be your IKEAs, Home Depot, Decathlon. So they have different SKU specs. They have different dimensions. They have different compatibility, usage data. So they can build pages like fitment guides, compatibility charts, selector tools, room planners, and we talk about material comparison guides. So these are the pages that help buyer to choose. Now, this is where we are going to talk about it a lot more. And you think about this as a very practical thing. So across SaaS, services, products, the pattern is very, very identical. There is an internal structured data, which is your proprietary information. And then you build decision support pages. And you get search visibility and you get the buyer's list. The format of everything could change here and there, but the first principles are the same. So is the future of the programmatic SEO. So you don't have to be very much dependent on it. I use a lot of tools for these programmatic SEO. You can use Ahrefs, SEMrush. You can use your search console data. You can use tools like Also Ask For. You can use tools like Keyword Everywhere to get started with the search pattern. So that is your research layer. And then to structure the data, what I typically use is Google Sheets. Google Sheets is giving you a lot more flexibility to use it, and it comes hand in when you are coming in. But for advanced users, they generally use Airtable, Notion, BigQuery to structure your data in a format that which is consumable by your CMS. So people use WordPress, can scale it, Zapier can scale it, Webflow can be used. So typically Zapier can solve a lot of problems. With WordPress with some custom fields, you can also automate it. Content layer, earlier it used to be very, very difficult. When I was doing programmatic SEO during my .com Info days in 2014, there was no AI which was available. We have to do scripting in Sheets, create that content. Right now, it is very, very easy. You can plug in your OpenAI or Claude or Perplexity, which can be plugged into your Sheets, and it can give you all the variation, introductions, FAQs, schema markup, meta descriptions. Everything is taken care of. Then for internal linking for the programmatic SEO, I generally use Screaming Frog. My team uses that. And then Sidebulb is something which I've heard my colleagues, my peers use across different companies. And then for crawlability, indexing, monitoring, you know what to go, where to go, right? You can use Google Search Console and Screaming Frog, which is helping you to do that. When you have to find out the results, finally, this is where a lot of us suck. We build pages and we don't go back and measure the impact. So you guys can use tools like Google Analytics. Looker Studio is hands-on. You can quickly build the template and you make use of it. And then BigQuery is a lot of advanced users use for it. So these are some methods which I can give you, which we hands-on use, and whatever that we look into in terms of building that programmatic SEO strategy. So this is what I had for the starters. Now the main course is coming in terms of the questions that Namratha has drafted some really good questions. I think we can go through the questions, and we can open up the floor for questions as we finish this Q&A session with Namratha. Have your questions ready. You can ask them in the chat right now. When you have any questions, you put it across in the chat, and I'm happy to answer those questions after the session.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Mr. Raja, for those insightful perspectives. That was a practical and a forward-looking take on how programmatic SEO is evolving in the AI search era. I'm sure this has given our audience a lot to think about. Mr. Raja, thank you once again for the keynote speak. If it's okay, can we move on to the question and answer session?
Absolutely, we can move on.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And the very first question is, if a company wants to start programmatic SEO in 2026, what are the 3 non-negotiable steps they must complete before building a single page?
Right. See, there is a lot of ways marketers as a whole will just jump into the solution, right? So there is a way that you need to approach the programmatic SEO as a whole. We cannot tend to make that mistake of okay, I know about programmatic SEO, now I have Claude, now I have OpenAI. How do I quickly go ahead and build it is what people generally think about. It is not the way to approach it, because there is a lot of efforts that goes into the planning part. If you skip that planning, then it is going to be like a framework failure, which will result, the end results are not going to be really as what you are expecting it to be. So most of the teams just start building pages. That's the mistake which I have seen people getting started with programmatic SEO do. So before even a single URL of your programmatic SEO getting started, 3 things you have to lock in. One is the query pattern that is repeatable, which is you don't have to go with the keywords, but with the search template. For example, best CRM for a small business. So that is one template that you can think about. And then you need to think about software for real estates, software for oil and gas industry, and you talk about workflow automation tool for maybe construction companies. So you identify that pattern first, and then for some calculators, cost of visiting or cost of solo travel in Goa. So these are some things which you can identify as a pattern in which your users are searching for information, and then you can start building the pages accordingly. So that is very, very important for you to look into. If you can't express the opportunity as a mathematical pattern for the search behavior, you don't have a programmatic SEO opportunity there. You can just stop and you can start building some pages. If you have such things and you have people searching for such information, you can start building pages for that. That's where you need to get started.
That was wonderful. Moving on to the next question. Many programmatic SEO projects fail quietly. From your experience, what truly separates successful implementation from ones that collapse due to quality issues?
Right. So that's again one more thing. So we want results overnight. Our CEOs, our business stakeholders want results overnight. So we jump into things and then we get the failure is what we taste initially. So one important thing that you need to look into is the quality when you start building in scale. Right now, with all the AI tools coming in, it is helping us a lot in terms of how do you scale your programmatic SEO approach. When you start building it, it might look like very fancy and your first 50 pages might look great. But after you follow the same template, what happens is that the content looks very templated. There is no real differentiation between your pages here and there. And then there are no unique signals for your audience to come and visit this page. And there is a very thin user experience. See, you are building pages for human. It's not for the bots. People come here to get some value out of it. If there is a thin UX, it is not going to help. And then if you really find that there is no internal linking logic thought about, I have seen a lot of folks build programmatic SEO and they haven't done internal linking. It is proper orphan pages which are lying somewhere in the website architecture. It doesn't serve the purpose. You have to have a proper internal linking logic. And then there are no authority signals. No one builds links for your programmatic SEO page, but you need to think about it. How are you going to build links which are going to be there? What happens over the time is that when you are doing these mistakes, Google doesn't penalize your website. Google simply ignores you. So if you really think about it, Google or any search engine wants valuable content. When you build valuable content, the successful implementation of the programmatic SEO would be data as a product, not content as a product. Winning teams have your SEO, your product, your data, and all of these put together, engineering well, so that your content is getting generated as a pages. So that's where you need to be focusing on. So these are the key things which I have seen my friends, my colleagues, whoever has been starting new in terms of programmatic SEO, seeing it failed. Until or unless you have that framework properly, it is really going to be a challenge.
That was accurate. And going on to the next question, what is a realistic timeline to see meaningful results from programmatic SEO, and which KPIs actually matter in the first 3 to 6 months?
Right. Got it. Super. So that is a very, very important thing that you need to be looking into. So that should be an expectation that you need to set for your teams. So people come back and say that I've been doing this for a year and then I'm not seeing any results at all. So it is typically a matter of how do you plan it. Right now with AI augmenting a lot of things and you can automate a lot of things. So people expect again the results to be also done. But the key is in the details. How depth that you go for your research is the important part for your success. Typically what we do is that we take at least 4 to 8 weeks to do that research, to draw that structure and then build those templates. And you need to also be ready with the internal linking logic when you get started itself. That's where things fall into place. So when you are then starting up, you get all your pages getting indexed, impressions get started. Typically, it is after the 8 weeks time. Once you start building, you are getting immediate results as well. We built some really good programmatic SEO pages, which are industry focused pages, which are solving specific use cases within those industries. We have seen traction in 3 days. We have been ranking in ChatGPT. We got ranked in Google search, and we have started getting traffic from the 3rd day. But for the leads to come in, it took like maybe 2-3 weeks is the maximum time frame we are getting some traction. The beauty about this is that you always get very less number of clicks and impressions and traffic to your website. But the conversion rates can go up to 50%. Out of 10 people visiting your page, there could be 4 or 5 conversions which can happen in those pages. That's the beauty of it, because you are talking very specific problem. You are talking about a very specific use case that resonates with that audience. Think about it like a person searching for blue sports running shoe, which is Nike or some other brand, and they get into a page which doesn't talks about it. It is not going to make any sense for them, right? So the usability of that part is also very, very important for you to be being successful. So that is something which you need to think about.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next question. With AI enabling content at massive scale, how can brands ensure originality, trust, and authority rather than just publishing volume?
So that's where we also fall into the trap. Being AI is able to generate the content. Can we create 100 blog posts in a month? Can we generate 200 blog posts in a month? Can we create tons of ebooks which can be created and scaled overnight and then publish it to the audience? Who are you publishing for? Are you creating content by AI, which is going to be AI is going to read it, and then is AI going to make that decision process? It's not going to happen very soon. It is far from the reality, at least from where we are sitting right now, right? So where you need to think about is an angle of proprietary content, which every company will have. Even for a startup, you know for a fact that you would have researched about your audience. You know for a fact that why you have built this product. So these are the proprietary information. Now you have that first. And then there are customer calls for any service company or a SaaS company. You have customer calls, you could record it. You go sit with your sales folks when they talk to the customers or your prospects, and then try to understand why those people have bought your product or why those people are considering your product. Could be like 10 calls every month, 5 calls every month, 2 calls every month, doesn't matter. Or you will have a champion for your product or service who is vouching for you from the testimonials. You go talk to them, find out some information why they choose you. You will get a lot of such insights from getting conversation from the end customers. Then talk to your sales folks, peers who are selling, your customer support folks. You ask them, where is your tickets are getting created, and why people are looking for support when they are looking into. So when you get those information, what you get is your proprietary information. Now you use that as a base to build your programmatic SEO strategy. You don't go to Google search to research at all. You have your proprietary information, and you need to understand how AI can augment what you have in hand, how you can build with what you have as a base and build it accordingly. So that's where a lot of companies or the programmatic SEO fails, because you don't have the real data to substantiate the information. You just use ChatGPT to build all these pages. It's not going to help. And then you need to really add calculators, tools, comparisons. These are the part of the UX of the page. Include proof of concept. You can include videos. You can include screenshots. You can include examples, workflows, customer testimonials for that specific use case. All of that's also. Then add human point of view whenever it matters. Add expert quotes. Even programmatic SEO, you can get 100 quotes and then you can use it across multiple pages, which are very relevant to it. AI can only draft your page. It is for you as a human who can differentiate each and every page from each other. Future is not AI content. It is AI plus proprietary information, proprietary insight, proprietary inputs that you are giving that AI. That's how you can build that originality when you scale with AI.
That was well said. And moving on to the next question. Can programmatic SEO work for service-based businesses, or is it fundamentally best suited for marketplaces and directories?
Okay, so for service companies, you need to just stop thinking like a directory. That is the most important starting point. We did it in .com Infoway. I think we should have already been getting some results out of it, even though the volume of visits are not going to be really high. We could really potentially get some traffic out of it, which are going to be converting. Service companies win with patterns like cost of building mobile app in maybe you think about some work management, cost of building an website for maybe a plumber. So these are the ways that service companies can win in the cost factor. Or you think about how to implement blockchain for supply chain and logistics industry. You can use that as a template and then you can run it across multiple industries. Then you can think about I need a compliance and audit checklist for oil and gas company. That is another use case. Top mistakes people make while building and workflow automation. So that is another use case in specific vertical, specific company. So you can think about such bases in which you can find out patterns where you not necessarily need any listings. You just need decision supporting pages. So programmatic SEO, whenever the buyer repeats similar questions in scale, you can start building it for the services industry. So that's the only take for the service industry.
I think that would have cleared them up with the question. Going on to the next question. How do you prevent Google from interpreting large-scale automated pages as spam or low-quality content?
Right. So again, we are going back to the first principles. I started in 2007 and Google said you need to come up with EAT in somewhere between 2013 to 15. EAT is still there. You need to be having authority. You need to have substantial amount of content, which is going to support. In a point of time, right? So marketers have moved away from being marketers, what we do good into, understanding your customer problems and solving the customer problems. So that is the crux of marketing for me. That's what I kind of learned in the business schools. Like I learned in IIM, I learned in Madurai Kamaraj University in MBA. So what I learned about marketing. Marketing means product, price, promotion, and place. So these are the 4 P's of marketing. The first principles are always the same. Even in your AI era, even you are building something for Google, people move away from the basics when they are doing marketing. They think SEO is something else, marketing is something else, and they drift away from the reality. So that's the basic thing that you need to really look into. Once you build for people, then Google doesn't penalize you. Google always detects pattern. So if you are doing things in a different way, it is going to detect it. So now to stay safe, what you have to do is that you need to have a stronger internal linking hierarchy. So that is the most important thing. You cannot create orphan pages. And then you need to be unique introduction sections and the end sections for each and every page. It should be different. And for being different, you don't have to go with keyword spamming. You don't have to add a lot of content, irrelevant content for the audience. Think and write for the audience. It is becoming really easier with all the custom GPTs that you can build in ChatGPT and Claude. So all of these are very, very simplified right now. And just make sure that your AI doesn't hallucinate while creating these pages. That's where human element has to be there for control. And then you can introduce data tables, which are very, very different, and it is more meaningful. And you add UI, UX elements like tools, you add filters, you add navigation. All of these are very, very helpful for being not flagged as spam. And then you add author pages as well. You add authors, you add trust signals, and then you have a proper gradual publishing cadence. Don't go and publish thousands of pages overnight. If your page looks like a database, Google trust them. If your page looks like a spun article, or you are doing some article in a way that Google doesn't penalize you, kind of, because once you have a trust signal, Google doesn't penalize you. Google ignore these pages, ignore saying that, okay, these guys are building something for basically the bots. So why do I care about it? Why does the audience need to look into it? That's where the real trust building basis on all of these items, right?
True that. Moving on to the next question. As SEO workflows become increasingly automated, what role will human creativity and judgment still play over the next 5 years?
All right. Now, my analogy is that human are becoming more of an architect. Say what has to be done, what is possible is something which we can think about, and then we are pushing it to the AI to do. So think of human as a civil engineer who draws, or an architect who draws all the framework. And then you give it to the laborers who are going to take care of the construction part. Now think about it in that way. Programmatic SEO for me is also similar. You build that framework, you feed them with all the proprietary information that you have, and you let the AI to scale it. So basically what you can do is that, number one, there are AI tools which are already there, but they cannot right now identify the right search pattern. That is your proprietary information that you have in your website. So you need to feed in the right data to the AI to identify that. Second part is that decide what data matters. Again, human are going to consume that content. You need to identify which part of the data in your programmatic SEO pages matters for the human. And then third part is that designing the page for utility. I have seen enterprise companies has crores in budget, millions of dollars in budget, build poorly designed, poorly developed pages which are not good in UX. So your UI and UX needs to be really, really helpful for the audience to go through it. So for me, AI simply fills the template. Human design the entire system. So as an SEO person, what you need to be looking more like a product team over the next 5 years. What your product does, how is your product going to help the end user to be successful? You could be a SaaS company, you could be selling products, you could be selling a solution to the customer. It doesn't matter. You need to think from your product angle. What is that your product is solving to the customer? How you can scale on that. So that is where your success is going to be while you are working with the AI.
That gives us a lot to think about, truly. And what is the most dangerous myth about programmatic SEO that marketers still believe in 2026? And why does it fail so many teams?
Right. Okay. Again, when something new comes in, it's the marketers who go and pick things from there. That's the reason why when you put across the number of MarTech tools which are available in market, you cannot count them. There are thousands. There are thousands of different marketing use cases which are solved by a lot of MarTech products. Right now, at this era, it is more about consolidation. So consolidation of tools, consolidation of efforts, consolidation of how we are going to do things is happening right now with AI being into the picture. So what myth that also comes with for all the senior leadership team or clients and everyone is that there is an AI for it. You build it, traffic will come. No, boss, it's not there yet. We are still in the era of AI hallucinating and not giving accurate enough information. So what is that we need to be doing is that we need to accept this expectation right. So if we publish enough pages, traffic will come is no longer a reality. Earlier, I think there is a math in which Google was working. Like if you build one unique page content, Google will in turn send you one visitor every month. So this is the math in which our industry was thriving earlier. It is no longer a reality because a lot of these intent is solved in your AI overviews, AI mode, in your AI tools. There is no longer a reality. So there is a secret buy-in from or a trust which we have created with the search engine saying that I'm going to feed you in a lot of fresh content and you are going to benefit me by traffic that you are going to send from your search. The agreement is no longer applicable. So how you are going to be there is the question. So this is specifically not about the volume. The volume without data advantage is again an invisible website. Google only rewards, or any search engines only reward, usefulness density, not the page count. So even if you are thinking about building 5,000 pages, you start with 50, 100 pages. You see how those are performing and then you scale on it. That's how you need to be like doing the programmatic SEO at this point in time. And you set up right expectations for the team, saying that you are not going to bring like thousands of traffic in those pages. You're going to bring 10 or 5, but those converts really well. So the role of a CRO, which is conversion rate optimization, is going to be really, really key. And the role of de-anonymizing tools like Warmly is going to be really, really critical to understand who is visiting your website. This is specifically for SaaS companies or for service companies, which company is visiting your website, by which you can go back and give those signals to your sales teams to be successful. So that's how this programmatic strategy has to complement, go hands on hand with your other GTM notions as well.
Great. So moving on to the next question. How will programmatic SEO evolve as AI becomes deeply integrated into search experiences over the next few years?
Right. How many of you have just seen the 10 blue links? Just the blue links. You don't have anything else. Like there is no knowledge graph. There is no people also ask for. How many of you have already seen it? I've been seeing since it's evolving, right? I've been seeing it for the past 15 years. So any of you have seen this? Maybe raise a hand or something like that.
You can raise your hands if you have done so.
Seen that? Okay. Only a few, right? So basically, it has come a long way from there. I have seen only 10 links will be there. Nothing else is there. It is no distraction. People click on first 3 results and then they go back. Now you have videos. Now you have images. You have AI overview. There is a lot of things which are coming in. The CRP, which was existing at that point in time, is no longer there. That means Google will increasingly prefer one, structured data, how they can easily collect information from your website and storing it in their algorithm. Second is the comparison table. Third is the calculator. Fourth is the page that helps in generating answers. So they are becoming more of an answer engine. So if your page is helping them to generate answers, then your brand is going to get more visibility. The programmatic SEO will shift from content pages to structured answer engines. So one more thing that you can leverage from that is that if you are able to generate personalized experience for every single user in your programmatic SEO page, like you are adding filters, you are adding calculators, you are adding some sort of a personalized template which are generated in your page, that is when you are becoming more successful with the large scale of pages that you are going to build using programmatic SEO.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next question. If you had to future-proof one SEO strategy for the next 5 years, what would you bet on and why?
That's a very, very tricky question. I really can't predict future, right? With the age of AI, there is a lot of things which are happening. We may not be able to predict a lot of things, but at the vantage point which we can with whatever that we have seen in the past 5-6 years, what I can really say is that if I have to do only one thing in SEO, I will do multi-format content, not just build textual content. You have to really think about the consumption pattern of your end customers. Even it could be short format video, it could be podcast, it could be ebooks, it could be infographic. You think about how your users are consuming content. You don't just invest in articles or textual content, how different formats that you are going to build, how it could be podcast, all of these things you decide upon. And then you bet upon multi-format content strategy and you build it in scale. And it is more often like building mini tools. It could be calculators, it could be something which can help user to calculate, compare, evaluate, or decide. This will survive AI search. That is for today. That is what I can predict for now, but things keep changing faster, right? So this is what we need to be thinking about. There is a core mindset shift that has to be happening. Programmatic SEO is not about ranking pages. It is about building search aligned data product that helps your website to be visible in all of these engines. So that's the crux of it, guys.
I believe these questions have already covered most key areas. But if you have any additional doubts, please feel free to drop them in Q&A box or raise your hands and we'll address them. Do you guys have any questions? Please do raise your hands or drop in the question. I think we have few questions in the Q&A box already.
Yeah. Maybe you could read them out and then we can.
Yeah, sure. There is a question from Harshan. He has asked, while searching in Chrome, an AI feature appears. How can we implement that?
Yeah, that's a good question. One is that when you look at it into that is a proprietary Google search. So there is an AI feature which are getting integrated across different platforms. If you look at your Gmail, there is an AI feature implemented. How many of you have seen? I'm not sure about it. In your photos, Google Photos, in your Android phone, there is a feature to use Gemini to search your photos. I was doing that. I was trying to find some photos which I took in 2016 in this place. It pulls that photos for you. It gives you that search results. So AI is no longer a standalone tool. AI is getting integrated across different such tools. So you need to make your content very structured. Now, imagine how Gemini is searching for that information from your photos. The photo has structured data. The photo has where the photo is taken, when it is taken, what is the dimension, what are the colors in which the photo people are wearing. All of these are stored in form of structured metadata. What AI does is that it goes and queries on top of it and finds that information. So what you need to really do is that you need to look into all of these AI are looking for structured data. So how do I create structured data is going to be your key for that.
Thank you so much, sir. Harshan, I think he has cleared the doubt. Moving on to the next question. How to optimize websites through off-page activities? Can we still create a multiple backlinks with the same content, submitting the same on multiple websites, or submit one unique content to only one website? What is the best way to create backlinks? Any new techniques to earn link organically? There's a question from Harshan as well.
All right. So see, there is a lot of first principles which I'm going to go back to. Content is the king, content is the queen. That is where you think about. One part of it is that you can submit content, build directories, you can be in comparison engines, you can get placements. That doesn't have a ripple effect, so snowball effect, where you will be able to do it faster. One is the quality of the content that you guys create. That is the way that you can build a lot of backlinks. One is that, are you really providing value to the end users? There could be a combination of a lot of things which will get your content republished, shared across multiple folks. So sharing is the thing. how you make your content shareable so that they can backlink to your website. That's a very simple concept out of it. We have seen really success when you get expert opinions and publish a list of like maybe 10-15 people or who are real folks who are talking about that particular topic, and you go ahead and publish it in your website. You get a lot of traction. You get a lot of data that is your proprietary information, and then you create a survey report or you create a infographic out of it. It is easily consumable by other folks. So that has built a lot of natural backlinks. So that has been also one part of it. And then reaching out to folks who are writing in your team, but giving a lot of internal point of view, which you have, they will link you organically if they are okay to publish your post. It's more about the content quality that you are building. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of efforts, but that's how you will be able to build links at scale. Else your link building activity will stall after a point in time.
Actually, this question was asked by Mr. Satish, and he has another question. I think you have answered. I'll read out the question. Just think if you have. He started with, how about the backlinks? Will it be covered under this, or few points on off-page optimization technique? And then he has asked the follow-up question for which we have answered.
I think I should have answered it. Maybe
yeah.
If there's a follow-up question, you can ask Satish.
Yeah, okay. Satish, are you clear with it? Or if you have any more questions or doubts, please do post them in the Q&A as well. Moving on to the next question. This is a question from Manoj Kumar. It is, suggest any bulk URL checker for more than 50K pages to find crawl issue.
That is you might have to use BigQuery. BigQuery is the only thing if you have more than 50K pages. Generally, a lot of these things are solved using Screaming Frog. That is the only thing that we have. There are Screaming Frog connectors which you can use using BigQuery. There is a lot of connectors which are available which you can use. 50K is a large volume, so you need this thing. Sorry, that was the answer. Yeah.
Okay. Then we have another question from Rahul. He says, can you share your perspective about the usage of AI content in landing page?
Right. So that is the question every marketer has in their mind. For me, what has worked for me really is that I talk to AI or I type in AI about my point of view about that landing page. What problem my product solves or my service solves for that audience who you are writing that landing page. It could be solid 500 to 600 words, my point of view on it. And then I ask AI to structure it in a templated format. My landing page is done. So that gives a lot of difference. If you are just saying that I'm going to create a landing page for selling Goa tourism, it is going to give you very, very simple, straightforward template that you are going to use. It is not going to be helpful for your audience at all. Once you have done that homework, you have your information and inputs that you are putting across to a landing page, creating a landing page, then it gives a lot of value for the AI created content. Yes, you can use AI until or unless you are giving that much as information. I have also seen people who have built like templates for landing pages, which you can prompt templates, which you can make use in AI. Those are all going to fail you after a point in time. You just need to have proper way that you approach each and every of your page while you are building the landing pages.
Thank you, sir. There is another question from Kasi Rajan. How should SEO strategies adapt to zero link searches?
Zero click searches, right. I'm not sure how many of you are from that era. We are from that era where websites never existed. There were people who are just using billboard advertisements to look at about anything about the brand. They have looked at newspaper advertisement, TV advertisements to find any new products. Now, no one knows the ROI of that campaigns. And we are literally moving there. You don't know of your ROI of that specific campaigns. One important thing that you can also think about when you are having an SEO strategy for a zero-click search, not only for zero-click search, you can also think about a lot of such searches happening in your LLMs. You should just consider them as a form of answer engine providing outputs. That's all. You query something, answer engines are providing outputs. So answer engines really love structured data. As much as structured data that you have in your pages, your page has a possibility to rank. Go to Screaming Frog, fix all the structured data issues, give as much as metadata to your search engines. They are going to love your pages. So that's how you are going to adapt to the zero-click searches.
There is another question from Mangai. How do you validate keyword demand before page generation?
So, see, there are a lot of ways to do it. One is the qualitative method, and second one is the quantitative method. Quantitative method, you have a lot of tools like you have SEMrush, you have Ahrefs provide all of this information. But proprietary information is where you can more rely upon. You just look at your search console, figure out, use search queries, and then figure out which are the queries which are getting more impressions and clicks in your ways. You just need to input all of these queries. And one more tool that we use to build this is basically the Google Ad Planner, which will give you the search volume and how much people are bidding for it. When the cost per click is really high, then you pick it up. That is really, really where your competitors are supposed to go. So these are the tools that you can use for picking up these search queries.
So, and we have another question from Lakshmi. What's the minimum scale needed for programmatic SEO to actually work?
An SEO answer, it depends. So that's how we answer, right? You have to really look into it in terms of whether you can build these pages individually or you really have to go for a programmatic SEO. It depends on the volume. Again, volume alone is not going to be one key important thing. Even as I said, 10 traffic can also lead into 5 leads if it is going to get a really conversion. For this, you really need to study your audience, and if you are really niche into your vertical, and then you are going to have very limited number of audience who are looking for this information, that's when your programmatic SEO also thrives with. So think about anything which you have more than 50 search volume. You can very well build landing pages for that. But for programmatic SEO, you really don't have to like stick to that 50 number until and unless you have a very strong validation from your product, market fit, how people are searching for information. The black box is your ChatGPT. You get a lot of direct traffic nowadays, brand traffic nowadays, and they convert in home pages. You never know where they found your company for. Those are the black box issues which you have to solve for. But literally try to build as much as assets possible for your audience by building more pages.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from Nagendran. In SERP results, some query have AI overview. Some core keywords don't have. How we use this opportunity?
See, core keyword could be potentially your long tail keywords. So basically, you see AI overview at certain point in time for some keywords. Google is still experimenting with the AI overviews. They haven't fully rolled it out. They are still experimenting. They are still studying all of this information and then upgrading their CRP page accordingly. So sometimes you might see those keywords will land up in your AI overviews. Sometimes you will end up seeing those are not in AI overviews. So first of all, you need to get that clarity out of it. And then those are your low hanging fruits. If I were to call you, you can go to your search console and then you can figure out such low hanging fruits which are not in AI overview, but you have good impressions and clicks. Just improve your CTR there by adding proper titles meta. I'm very sure that Google is going to change it anyhow, but you try to keep it as much as possible. Your metadata has to be updated and structured so that when an opportunity like that comes in, even with a lesser number of clicks, you will get more conversions in
that. Then we have Matesh. Your take on AI influencer concept brought by Higgsfield, and how could it be helpful for the product-based companies?
All right. May I get some quick show of hands? Any of you have watched Black Mirror series, web series? Any of you?
There are a few people raising their hands.
Awesome. Now you know, right? There are some of those episodes where they really have AI influences. They really have holograms, and then those influencers are actually prompting people to buy. Those are coming in near future, right? Okay, so there could be a avatar of that particular person, which can be like acting as an influencer. I have already started seeing AI bots being there in social media, and people have started doing all of these AI influencer concepts. But one core problem is that since they are able to generate content in scale, people get away from the originality. Original content always win. So you need to really identify the AI influencer who are like really valuable for your brand. If you can associate with them, then that is going to be really helpful. For example, you have looked at Vodafone, that Zuzus, right? You think about that concept is the AI influencer. So if it is very creative, cute, it has its own story behind it, then it still can fly. That's how you need to think about, are you really having a story behind that AI influencer? If you really have the story, then it flies.
Now we have the follow-up question from Harshan. He's asked if how to create data in AI compatible format. Any examples?
Okay, I'll give you some examples of how you can do that. There are certain templates that you can think about. Basically, like what we have done is that we have created some spreadsheets, Airtable tables, so that every data format is mapped across different columns and cells. So you think about it like this: your metadata, your introduction section, the image that has to come, and then if there are any video that has to be generated, and then your center part where there should be a table, and all of these are particularly defined to that cell. Once you generate that sheet or that table, then it is done through your CMS, fed into your CMS to build those pages. So HubSpot has HubDB. HubDB, if you feed all of this information to HubDB, it creates a landing page automatically. So different, I think WordPress also has that feature to build it with some plugins. So you just have to think about a way that you build that structured data, then it automatically builds your programmatic SEO pages.
Thank you, sir. Now we have a question from Rahul N. One of his colleague has published a website landing page. This page is currently in crawled, currently not indexed. He is not able to rank this page in search engine. Can you share your thoughts about what to do from here?
See, crawl not in text could be potentially Google ignoring your page. So just read through, for example, you just compare the page which is already ranking in the SERP for this particular keyword, what you have created this landing page for, and try to map it with the current page that you have built and why it is crawl and not in text. Typically, this problems comes when your site architecture is in a problem. Just try to look at your site architecture and try to understand if some of the orphan pages or breakages or technical issues are like kind of triggering these side of any issues. Just figure out that, then it should be helpful. So the steps that I would advise is that go to Search Console, figure out if there are any issues in those pages, and then you run a complete technical audit manually by looking at all of this information in these pages and compare it with the pages which are ranking. Then you will find an answer there.
Now we have a sweet compliment followed up by a question from Aravind. He says you're always inspiring, and his question is there a set of best practice for making our pages easily crawlable for AI?
See, as I was saying, like AI loves structured data. How much ever structured data that you are able to provide or feed into AI, it is so happy and it will come and consume as much as information possible, right? It is like a child who learns from ABCs. So the ABCs are your metadata that you have to have for all of these adjacent things. Keep your metadata as descriptive as possible. So that is the only way that AI will learn from it. This is a person with a black shirt, white tie, sitting in a chair. This is the kind of description that you need to give for your image. So that is a level of information we can also generate using AI, basically. That is how easy as it is. There is a plugin in Screaming Frog, which actually helps you to generate description for an image. So as much as descriptive metadata that you feed into the system, that is how you are going to help the AI to crawl your content.
The last question we have from Kasi Rajan. How do faceted navigation pages affect indexation?
See, the navigation is the important part of it. Your site architecture has to be redesigned if you are going to do programmatic SEO. Where to place those navigation pages and all of these things has to be in your beginning researching stage itself, so that you doesn't leaving your page as an orphan page. See, there is a very simple mistake which we did. We just removed one footer by mistake. One of our developer engineer removed that navigation menu from one of the pages, and we lost ranking from number 3 to 4 any point in time to 100 plus rankings for a lot of pages. So you really have to ensure that your navigations are in place, and you have proper internal linking structure which are running as well. That will help you in terms of getting those filters that you call, maybe in the facet navigation, I think you call them as a filters, and how are you going to take all of these things. These are also important factors for people, the AI or the crawlers to look into information from your specific pages. Is your navigation generating a new page, or is your navigation giving you information within that particular page? Again, that is also you're creating those navigations specifically for the user intent, how the user is going to communicate with your page. So that is something which you can always look into.
We have just one other question from Nagendran. Is DA one of the reason for getting ranking?
That is a question I heard in 2010, question 2015, 2020, 2025, 2026. Yes, it's a little bit of if you have to attribute someone, and you, by the look of a person, you put them into one bucket, say that this person is a male, this person is a female. How do you do that? By a look of a person. So generally, DA is a vanity metric to have. To understand whether this page has been performing really well, there are a lot of factors that we put across and say that this is a DA. DA gives you some sort of a signal to put them into one bucket. That's all. And that is not the only reason. So DA could give you some signals for ranking, but that is not the only reason.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for those thoughtful questions. I hope this has addressed your key doubts. Once again, a big thank you to Mr. Raja for sharing his valuable insights with us today. And thank you to all of you for attending and engaging with the session. We hope you found it useful. We look forward to seeing you in our next webinar. I think, they're giving you, visual applause, visual claps. So be a part of it. And thank you so much for this lovely session, sir. It was so interactive, even though they are not able to, switch on their mics. They have provided with a lot of questions, and they have also able to hear your insightful thoughts about it. And thank you so much for the lovely session.
Namratha, thanks for the opportunity. And if any of you have any follow-up questions, just ping Namratha over an email. She can forward that to you, forward that to me for answering. Or you can find me in LinkedIn. It's Raja TM. So you can find me in LinkedIn. Ping me if you have any questions around programmatic SEO or anything general marketing, right? I'm a marketing guy. Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
So many applauses piling up. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Namratha.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye all.